Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Quantum Spirituality right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My guest all the way from Amsterdam, Holland, is Cathleen Beerkens. We're going to be talking about things about your health today, your wellness. So it's a little hard to know which genre to put underneath it, but we need to understand that the quantumness of physics and the quantumness of spirituality has become our healing mode. And how does this come about? Well, she was a nurse, an integrative health coach. She was the founder of Wellness Revolution, an institute for integrative nutrition, and author of a new book, Your Creation Matrix: How to Use Optimum Wellness, Quantum Healing to Master Your Story and Create Your Reality. And we're going to be talking about the book today and all the chapters and the beautiful graphics that have gone in there that visually feed you as well as the knowledge feeding and supporting you. She said that quantum physics is emerging sciences of epigenetics and
Epigenetics, yeah.
my biology, sorry, my words.
Glyco,
Thank
glycobiology.
you, thank you. And nutrigenics can support optimum cellular health. That's what we really want, folks, is cellular health that will lead to the best version of our ourselves. Science is showing the epigenetic triumphs over genetics and that our choices of the way of living will directly impact the health and the behavior of our cells. And this will influence the genes that are expressed. So using quantum healing to create your reality and exploring the new sciences of epigenetics and genealogy, we're really going to actually understand that we have the power within us to heal, and that it isn't rushing to the doctor for the next pill or the next operation or believing that you have a disease that you can never ever overcome. It is about actually understanding the answers have always been there. We're just scratching the surface. It's more than the nutrition that we put in. It's more than what we put on our body, in our body, but it's also how we feel about life, how we raise ourselves up to the higher consciousness, how we tap into that higher energy, because the healing is more than just one thing. So welcome to the show, Kathleen.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. I'm so delighted to be here. And
I'm
yes, those
delighted
are
having you.
big words. Those
They
are big
are,
words.
they are. And
Don't worry, I studied them for years, so I definitely know how to say them now, but sometimes I could get a tongue twister. I
yes,
mean,
well, I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I do the Yoda
oh,
thing and put
I
things the wrong way
understand.
round. So, yeah.
Don't worry. And it isn't easy because the people haven't really heard of some of these
Exactly,
things.
they're not the norm. But they are
No, they're not.
becoming so. We're beginning to hear these words without really understanding what they are.
Exactly.
More and more people like yourself have decided that no, I'm not accepting the answer you're giving
No.
me. I'm not accepting that this is hopeless or helpless. I believe in my heart, my soul, my spirit, my very being that there is another answer. And that is what set you on a 5-year journey in writing this book, in being
Yeah,
able to bring to us all this wonderful information that has been suppressed because
totally.
pharmaceutical doesn't want you to know, because how do they keep their profit? By keeping you ill. How do
Yeah.
doctors have you as a reoccurring patient? By having you come back to them with the next problem or the same
Yeah.
problem over and over again. We can
Yeah.
be our own healers, can't we?
Yeah, it is interesting. I had to
Mm,
learn that. I think we all kind of have our stories, right? So in this book, I take you on my journey. I show it here. It's your creator matrix. And I decided with my sister, because what I believe and I've come to understand is we create our reality
mm,
on all levels with our creator matrix, which I say a matrix is something from which there's a foundation and a structure that we come from. So we gave the word matrix kind of a bad rap,
mm.
but that's because we were referring to the old structures that are falling. but we have a matrix. And when it's working perfectly, it's
Yes.
in harmony. And we haven't been taught how to care for the whole. And that's a bit of the problem. So I talk about the body, mind, spirit, and emotional complex, and I show it as a book that we are writing our own story.
Yes.
And so, yeah, and so in all the chapters, I can show a picture. This is the first one. The first chapter is you are a creator. And we see here in the drawing a creator, a person uh, painting their own story
Mm.
as they and their own version. So we actually create from our perception, our belief systems, our thoughts, our words, our behaviors, our habits, right? We have all these ways of being that we create our reality from, but we
Yes.
don't even realize half of them.
We
So
don't
what
realize
I
we're holding the brush of our own
no,
canvas, right?
no,
Yeah.
exactly. So health, you were bringing up health. We cannot really heal
No.
unless in our subconscious, and our subconscious is always on. It's like our
Mm.
pre-recorded little, I guess, like a tape recorder almost, putting out there what we truly, truly believe. So
Hmm.
if we truly believe we're ill and we can't
Yes.
heal, because many of us have had very traumatic healing journeys, then guess what? We're going to never heal. That's really what I've seen. So
Yes.
the power of the mind here
Hmm.
shows us the power of the quantum reality because you can only be as healthy as you believe you can be.
There's a reason why I call this particular show quantum spirituality is because scientists are beginning to understand those that live on a spiritual realm, higher consciousness, higher frequency, right, is
Yeah.
measurable. And they
Yeah.
know that people on that level are happier, calmer,
Yeah.
healthier, and living their meaningful purpose. And they
Yeah.
can actually measure that frequency. Right.
Yes.
So the quantumness that we're looking at, yes, physics and measurable, all of that, but the quantumness of our spirituality and the energy that we're choosing to live in, and that higher elevation is so peaceful and calming and knowing. Like we don't need to know everything all at once. I call it the
No.
knowingness. It's
Yeah.
when the soul and the divine speaks to the soul in truth. It goes to the heart in resonance. It goes to the
Totally.
spirit in action. And the mind knows what it needs to know when it needs to know it in clarity. But if we step outside of this database thing
Yeah.
and trust
I
the
know.
divine wisdom, we are always guided because I think one of the things that we've misunderstood is that we're humanoids detached from.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
spiritual beings having a human existence, and we need
Yes.
to be as one. The spirit, for lack of word, Gus, God, universe, spirit, energy, source, whatever you wish to call it, that is our compass. That
Yeah.
is what guides us and gives us the energy in order
Beautiful.
to be. And when we immerse the two, there is the clarity.
Yeah. So what is so important, Sarah, is that we realize that we are this field.
Yes.
So we have put it outside of us. We
Mm,
have called it, we have been religions. Now they did their part when we were in this very heavy energy because if you look at the universe, and I talk about this, there's a process that we went from, let's say, one unified field
yeah.
to separate appendages, let's
Mm,
say, of source energy to go into denser and denser states of matter to
mm,
experience stories
yeah.
and forget who we really were.
Hmm.
So when
Hmm.
we were in the densest of those states, we could call it really heavy three density duality,
Yes.
which we've been in. It was really hard to remember who we are, and we couldn't.
Heavy too. Oh,
We felt separated.
oh,
We felt
yes.
because we were in this duality, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
now we're getting out of this duality.
Mm,
It's the ascension time.
yes.
And not everybody understands that, but if you're listening to this podcast, you probably do. And we're in this huge shift of
Mm,
transformation of higher consciousness. And the thing is, that field is all knowing. That
yes.
field of which we are connected, our cells are connected
Hmm.
actually, um, through these nutrients actually and this field. We're starting to put it together, science. And these this new field, which was hard to pronounce, called glycoscience,
Hmm.
is the study of sugars. And we think of sugars as bad and dangerous and not good, but that's because we've altered the sugar and we're
Yes.
not eating it in its original form.
Hmm.
Originally, sugar isn't even that sweet. The way
Hmm.
we've made it is sweet, right? I mean, fruit can be sweet, but the way we have made it and refined it and everything. But if we go and look at the original sugars in fruits and vegetables, in many things on the planet, like aloe and tree bark and many things, herbs, we see these sugars, and there are eight of them called glycans.
Hmm.
And they create a structure around every cell of our body. And I didn't know that. When I
Hmm.
was growing up, we didn't even see those sugars. We couldn't see them.
No.
That's how new the science is. So, but these sugars are crystalline and they
Mm.
communicate like computers. They're electromagnetic and they are responsible to connect you to everything around you. And that includes multidimensional.
Mm.
Is that
Mm.
crazy? So
That
they're
is crazy. So it is like get off the synthetic and get to the raw sugar. You know? So,
yeah, but it's unfortunately the reason we're having so much illness.
mm.
One of the reasons, this is one of the big reasons, is our cell communication is not optimal.
Right.
Our light body is not strong because we're missing these sugars.
Yes.
They're what we call the missing link in nutrition. So I found this out 20 years ago and I've been trying to teach the world, but it's not so easy because the pharmacy
Yeah.
doesn't understand the sugars. They don't
Doesn't want to.
understand. No, because they can't make money yet because they're not like
Yes.
proteins. They're more complicated.
Hmm.
So imagine that our cells are made
Yes.
of proteins, fats, nucleic acids, and these sugars, these glycans. That's it. If you don't eat it, you don't become it. And so, and maybe this will change in the future, but right now we are carbon-based humans still. We
Mm.
still, most of us need to eat and nutrition matters. So you said it that it's not everything. No, it's not everything, but it's a big part
Yeah.
because you can be connected spiritually. Like I used to meditate with people on the 18th or 12th dimension or whatever, and then I
Yes.
would go to the back of the room and they were all physically ill. They
Yeah.
had cancer and autoimmune, and I thought, that's not how we're supposed to be here.
Exactly.
This is horrifying. Why is everybody so sick? So then I started doing a lot of research. So physically, I found this as a big problem. Also, the toxicity on the planet. But
Physically,
emotionally,
emotionally, and within us, right?
yeah,
Just
yeah. But
everywhere.
emotionally, we have an emotional body, right?
Yeah.
And we're not trained
Mm-mm.
to take care of our emotions. We
Nope.
don't even understand what they are. They're
Hmm.
messages. They're telling us something. They're
Hmm.
sharing, but we're not listening.
Nope.
And they get clogged. They
Yes.
clog up the creator matrix, literally.
Yes.
And then you have, okay, so you have the physical, then you have the emotional, then you have the mental. And I tell you, it's so funny. I find it very interesting that in the world we have like, we also separated everything. So
Mm.
I'm a nurse and I had to do my rounds of nursing, and then we had to go to the psychiatric ward. Well, why did we separate the mental
Yeah.
from all the other parts?
The
It
mental
doesn't make
causes the
sense.
physical, and the physical causes the mental.
Yeah,
Why do we not
like
treat people as a whole?
yes, that's ridiculous,
Yeah.
isn't it? So I literally, the mental, like how we think and our thoughts, like you said it, are so powerful
Hmm.
that we are just starting to understand. And quantum physics is telling us that we are one, we are not separate, and
Hmm.
that our thoughts
Yes.
have a direct influence on on that field. Call it what you want.
Yeah.
That field, who is us? But the field is a place, like let's say in us that's empty space. It's just potentiality. It's nothing but options. So
Waiting to
let's
be
say,
written.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. That's so cool how you just said that. I love that. Funny.
You know,
Oh,
there's so much of what you've just said that, we're certainly on par with each other, is that I was given a saying 6.5 years ago from the universe. The universe is going to shake us up, to wake us up, for us to step up, change it up, and grow up. Grow up
yeah,
vibrationally, but grow up as a human race.
Yes.
Because we don't recognize our emotions. Why
No,
am I angry? Why am I sad? Instead of addressing it, what's causing it in the moment and rectifying or doing something about it, we've become emotional about our emotions. And then
totally.
we're so emotional about our emotions, we don't even know what we're emotional about, but the emotions have taken over and they start breaking us down and they start causing more hysteria, or we
Totally.
then become very, very depressed, right? So
Yeah.
it's this constant spiral, but the universe is saying to us, wake up. You are not meant to be these humanoids. You've been for years talking about robots taking over the world. They have. It's called a cell phone. It's called
Yeah,
social media,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And the thing is, it's in our nature, I think, to be addicted to something or to follow like just droids. We're all given this thing called choice, but the choice means that we need to inquire, is this for me? Is this for the best wellness for me? Is this something that is good for other people that I can do? But we don't question. We sheeple along, and society now, be it organizations, religion, pharmaceutical, education, has been dictating to us for so
Oh,
long
definitely.
what we should be. And it's like, no, you're going against spiritual human nature of what we're meant to be and what we're meant to be doing here.
Yes,
We've gone in the
exactly.
opposite direction altogether. We've
Yeah.
missed the point.
Yeah, and I think it's because we are now transitioning from this third density, and we have to understand the difference. I go into it in the book between dimensions and densities
Hmm.
because it's all very confusing. But the dimension is literally, let's say, the matrix,
Yeah,
what we see. How much can we see? Well, we've just gone through, and it's really true. We're going through it actually, but it really amplified in 2020. We're going through this period where we suddenly, like, let's say we didn't see half of what we see now. Suddenly
right.
we see everything, the lights on, and it
Yes.
was dark. And then we see all the cobwebs. So we couldn't see it
No,
before. But now all those old structures are just not serving us. And I mean every one of them:
every one
government,
of them. Everything.
education,
Hmm.
pharmacy, all of it.
Hmm.
So it all has to be redone. We have to start all over. We have the new children here
Yeah.
now. It's
Indigo
their
children.
world,
Yep.
and we are
Yeah.
going to support them. But we all have to come together. Humanity has to say, who are we?
Hmm.
Oh, we are actually divine. We're actually
Yes.
amazing. We're
Yes.
we're truly amazing.
We're
And
here
we've
for a
been dumbed
purpose.
down. Yeah, we've been
Yes.
dumbed down. We
Yeah.
need to come up to
Yeah.
who we really are and take our responsibility as a creator and not be get out of those dualistic stories of I'm the victim,
Yeah.
you're the perpetrator, it's your fault, I'm going to save everybody. No, stop. Those are just stories.
Yeah.
We're not our story, but we need to understand the difference. Like, let's take a helicopter view here and say, okay, who are we again? Get back to who we really
Mm.
are and connect to that of which we are so that we can maximize.
Yes.
Because as this fourth density, we are entering it now, which means we carry more light and more information.
Hmm.
We're actually more connected to the field than ever before,
Right.
that we make those connections so we can step into our sovereign power.
There's two things you said: responsibility and your story. We all have a story to tell, but your story was there to teach you, to show you. Where's your
Yeah,
courage? Where's your strength? Where's your ability? Where's your direction, your meaningful purpose? Your story is a part of your journey of life. Don't get stuck in one chapter,
yeah, exactly. I
right?
love how you put that.
The
It's
other
funny.
thing is responsibility.
Yeah,
Now, so many people choose not to awaken, not to rise up, because it's so much easier to point a finger. Your fault, government's
yeah,
fault, everybody's fault. There's three pointing back at you.
yes,
Where's your accountability? Where's your responsibility? What are you going to do about it? And it actually means you've got to participate.
yeah,
Take onus and responsibility on your actions, your thoughts, and what you are contributing to the world. And that takes energy. Now,
yeah,
should you choose to do that, you'll actually understand how utterly wonderful it is to step into that divine energy. And
Totally.
you'll wonder what's held you back for so long. But for so many people, they prefer to stay in the blame game because they don't have
Totally.
to take onus. We can't do anything for those people until they are free will decide, I cannot live
Exactly.
here anymore. I need to move forward in a different direction. But we
The
can help
thing
the
is,
people that have
yeah,
woken up and
yeah,
want to
that's
know more.
true. That's true. And it's becoming uncomfortable, let's be honest.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so the light is on. So it's really like when I say we see the cobwebs now, it's kind
Yeah.
of
Oh
hard.
gosh, I
Kind
really got to sprinkling.
yeah, it's kind of hard to miss them, isn't it?
Yes.
But I love when you were talking about emotions and frequency. Let's go there because I think it's really important. The
It's what
emotions
governs us as
all
human beings,
yeah.
isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
it makes
Yeah.
it a beautiful experience actually.
Yeah.
Because in the angelic realms, and I do, believe it or not, have a knowingness about that. I
Yes.
feel very connected to that where that was. But that place, you don't have the same emotions you have
Mm.
here. So we can sometimes, like we talk about getting stuck in them,
Yeah.
but they actually are quite beautiful. So they have the thing is we have high frequency emotions and low
Yeah.
frequency. And what so often happens is we attach a
Mm.
particular thought pattern and belief system, usually about ourselves, and the emotion.
I'm not
And
worthy.
yeah, right, exactly. And an emotion with it, which is usually a low frequency emotion like shame or guilt, the lowest
Yes.
one, by the way. And then we put them on a storyline. And we keep, because that's how we create our reality through our thoughts and our emotions. So we make this, so we live sort of continually in these lower frequencies. When if we just recognize that we could choose, actually, we can
Yeah.
choose to feel joy, we can
Yes.
choose to feel peace. We don't have to fight.
No.
It's a choice that we could think, oh, but he or he did this. No, step out of it.
Yeah.
If we all stepped out of it right now, we would have this peaceful planet
Yeah.
that we're
We are
searching
the
for.
love, we are the peace we seek, but we
Yes,
have to be it to bring
yes,
it. It's
yes.
not out there, it's
No,
all in here.
exactly.
Become what you seek.
Definitely.
And
Absolutely.
unfortunately, what we are seeing is you have become, the expectation, or you became an illusion, right? Rather than
Yeah,
your
I think
truth.
I think we were in a very dark place,
Yeah.
humanity, and we lost our purpose and our
Yes.
real, and we were governed by governments and religions that told us what to do. So we
Hmm.
even lost our ability to think for ourselves. And that's what's wrong, you mentioned with the educational
Yeah.
system. It needs to give children more independence, not to be bio-individual, because they are,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
They're not all the same. And we treat everybody the same. Same in medicine. When I was a
Yeah.
nurse, they came in, I had to give, okay, they showed up with this cancer, this thing. We gave this drug, this thing, this therapy, but it wasn't the same for everybody. And it really affected, like the higher your frequency, the more sensitive you were, the
Mm.
worse it was for you.
Yes.
And I saw it over and over again. So personally, I think what's important now is to understand that our old ways of healing
Hmm.
are not working anymore all the time. I mean, I will say sometimes
Yeah.
they still work,
Yeah.
but we hear antibiotics aren't working the same. This is not working.
Yes.
Da, da, da. So we have to say,
It's a
okay,
not addressing the real problem.
yeah, we're not getting to the root
No.
cause.
No. And
That's the
that's the
thing.
point. Common
Yes,
denominator. Hear anything from root cause?
yes,
Root, root. We
yes,
haven't been feeding our roots, and our
that's it.
branches have been dying off and been wondering why.
Yeah,
We've been treating the branches and we haven't been treating the roots.
yes. And you know what's funny about that? I had my book launches and I said it to them, the people like this, look, if we take an apple from the tree, which is what we're doing, by the way,
Hmm.
and transporting it miles away, putting it in a
Hmm.
warehouse, it's from the minute I pick it, it starts to degrade.
Yes,
It starts to lose its energy because we are just energy.
right.
So we have to constantly rejuvenate this energy.
Yeah.
That's the thing on Earth. So, in order to really rejuvenate, you asked me about this field that we are all
Mm.
connected to. We are connected, but because of the way we are here, we need to direct, we need to really, how do I say this? We have free will to see it,
Yes.
free will to choose it. And if we don't connect to it, just like we don't connect to Earth,
Yeah.
will not be strong. Just like that apple,
Yeah.
we'll start to lose our true power.
We're
And
decaying.
yeah,
I just want
good.
to go back a little something. I'm going to do a shameless plug here because you talked about the children, and this is
Yes,
a real hot topic for me because I do believe that our children are born with their meaningful divine essence, their gift of who they are, their
totally.
beautiful instrument, right? And
Yeah.
if we allow them to learn that instrument, explore that instrument, they will join the choir or they'll join the orchestra and in
Yeah,
harmony will just transcend the music altogether. But what we do is we take that instrument and say, no, no, you're playing it wrong. You've got to do it this way. You've got to do it that way.
exactly.
So I put out a book, our Forgotten Children book series,
Nice.
book one of it, 15 chapters in here. There'll be another one next year. And each person has contributed a chapter. They were teachers,
Oh,
autism
nice.
advocates, even music,
Yeah,
meditation, everything around children and
beautiful.
how we need to honor the spirit. We
Hmm.
don't owe them, we're custodians. We need to
Totally.
look at the spirit they are and help them, have them help us ignite our own spirit inside of us. It is this suppressing of
Yeah,
their beautiful
powerful.
gift that they are, and then have them conform to
Yeah,
a system that we know is not only archaic, but 100% broken, that we
totally.
are now having adults who are lost, don't know how to connect, don't know how to articulate, don't know how to belong, don't have a meaningful purpose. And this is what
Exactly.
we've done in the way we've brought them up. It needs to be scratched and it needs to be reassessed, as does the medical system, political
Totally.
system. Why do we see some of the politicians in the world right now getting away with absolute murder where
Yeah.
things in the past would have not been allowed because it's showing how far wrong we've gone.
Oh yeah, we have no the integrity.
None.
Integrity, by the way, guess what
Or
integrity means?
empathy.
It means to be whole.
Yes.
We've gotten away from our whole self, which is my whole point of your
Yes.
creator matrix.
Yes.
We have a whole matrix. We have to take care of all the parts.
Exactly. We're not
And
we're not used to anyone in
no,
parts. You
no.
know, we need to be
And
unified.
the children, you bring up these new children. They're so beautiful because they have a different DNA. That
Yeah.
research, I show this because I research, it shows that these new kids have less they carry on their DNA
Yeah.
and they have different genes. Isn't that
Yes.
amazing?
Yes.
So these new kids are really we call them abnormal, but they're not abnormal. I
No.
think they're the next generation of consciousness. And we
Absolutely.
don't understand because it's this quantum leap.
Yeah.
So we make a label to them, ADHD or whatever we want to
Mm.
call them, because they don't learn like the linear way. They're not because they're also already multidimensional.
I
I
call them
think many,
differently abled.
yeah,
Right? And they're able
yeah,
to do things differently, which is actually the right way. So pay attention.
yeah, because I think they think we're barbaric actually,
Yeah. Oh,
because
and
they're,
we are in
yeah,
in many of our practices.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially high autistic kids.
Mm,
There, you know how they have the frontal lobe that's so high sensitive that they're psychic, actually. They're very, very psychic. And that's where we're going. We're going to use all our senses right now. And I also speak in this in the book. We have been using the five, but we need to get out of those five
yeah.
so we can develop the other ones, which are clairvoyance and all these abilities that we can have. It's
Yes.
not just the weirdos that can
No.
have this. All of humanity
No,
can
well,
have
we've labeled that because people were fearful of it, right?
it.
Fearful
Yeah,
of the unknown.
yeah,
But where did that fear came from? It came from the puppet masters with the strings.
yeah. And
Keep
they,
people in fear, you keep them
yeah,
in control, right?
totally.
Let's cut the strings. Let's
Yeah,
cut
we
the
have
strings
to.
completely.
Yeah, completely. And so the children who are here now are really in disarray at this time because
Mm,
they've come into a world that's collapsing, but
yes.
they have everything in them to be
They're the
able to bring,
rebuilders,
yeah, they're the
as long as
rebuild.
we get out of their way.
Yeah, and we are going to have to do that. But
Yeah.
we're not going to see the big shift until next year because the astrology is quite heavy right now.
Mm,
And we're about to go into that Pluto going one more time over Capricorn, which is breaking down those old structures. And so the fall is going to be very not so comfortable. So I would advise everybody to stay in themselves and
Mm.
very centered and very high frequency. Think light thoughts of joy and love all day long. Don't listen to the news, kind of get
No.
away from all the clutter and ruckus and be true. Go back to yourself because
Mm.
when where we're going, when we finally get back into Aquarius next year, which will be the new time. And then we will see massive change. Really, it's exciting. Yes.
And for me this year, a new home, a new city, um,
Yeah.
the books that I'm involved with, everything about it has been for me. I'm giving you your routine because I
Nice.
didn't have that. I was flapping in the wind. I'm giving you a routine
Wow.
because we're going to see a gale that
Yeah.
that's going to challenge your branches to clear out the old,
Yes.
right? But the stronger your roots are and center of yourself in your own core, then you're going to be ready to
Totally.
embrace the new and be that conductor that is going
Totally.
to transcend it other. These are exciting times. And you're right. We hear what's going on
Yeah.
and we know it's wrong. We know
Yeah.
immorally,
Crazy.
integrity, vibrationally, you name it, all the wrongs you could think of, it's wrong. But, excuse me, if we feed the right, and this isn't black and white, it's beautiful colors and shades of gray and everything else.
Totally.
If we feed the yes possibilities,
Yeah.
right? If we feed the dream of peace
Totally.
on earth, of recognizing everybody from their energy and their soul, not their color, not their ethnicity, not their economics,
Yeah.
not their education, but look at each other from the essence of who we are. And we
Yes.
choose to see each other in that way. We choose to see ourselves in that way. What are we doing? We're already switching the tide. We're already changing
Totally.
the volume. We're already feeding the future because this
Totally.
is where we're going, folks. Resistance is futile,
Huh.
right? If
I
you're
love
either with
I
us or
totally
you'll struggle to catch up or be completely left behind.
Yeah, and I believe that every soul has their own path. So what I've
Mm,
been working on myself is to go to my heart and
mm.
to just connect to where the soul is before me and just totally accept. Like this is
Yes.
where you are
Yeah.
and that's where you are and that's okay. But I do see a lot more illness and I will
Mm,
be honest. You asked the question about frequency and I have
yeah.
to go back there. So where the medical world is starting to wake up to is that and by the way, in our history, we did know a lot of this and it's been repressed. I will say that.
Hmm.
So there is a lot where you're like, oh my goodness, what happened here? But
Mm,
that's a whole nother thing. And I have talked about it on a YouTube channel with somebody who was explaining what happened across the world in the 1800s, how
mm.
they started regulating medical schools and all
Yeah.
this. But to get back to frequency, if we are healthy and we're vibrating at a high level and all aspects of ourselves are well, all
Yes.
aspects,
Yes.
we are vibrating according to the body electric research, Robert Obecker. He says between 68 and 78 megahertz, and what we're healthy. And when our frequency drops below 58, we are
Mm,
unhealthy and we
yeah.
become sick. So imagine this. It is about frequency. Everything has a frequency, and we haven't been taught that,
No.
right?
No.
And that's a big problem
Yes.
because we've been kind of lied to in that.
Oh.
So the base of us and our health is our frequency.
Hmm.
So imagine that we choose low frequency emotions. Already we're going towards that illness, you
Yeah.
see? And
Dis
let's say
ease.
yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what it is. And
Hmm.
so I wanted to answer your question. So, and also the mental, let's say we
Yes.
think frequencies are also the thoughts.
Hmm.
Let's say we think bad thoughts about people all the time or ourselves.
Hmm.
We think I'm terrible or whatever. That's a low frequency.
Yes.
Let's say then we go to speaking it.
Yeah.
Then we're even bringing that frequency in the
Yeah.
world. And pretty soon, all of that is affecting our entire matrix and
Yes.
bringing us into illness. And we never realized that we had that much influence on it.
And this is the
That's
thing,
interesting.
this is why I call the societal expectation that has dictated. In order to be a person of value, you've got to have this many likes, you've got to look a certain
Yes.
way, you have to be this
Yeah.
economical, and all of these things, these illusions or delusions of living
Yes.
up to. And it's like,
Yes.
no, do you really think that when that child came out and that child and exploration is growing, did we not look at them as enough? Did we not look at them as
Yeah.
beautiful? Where did you lose your beauty? Where
Yeah.
did you use your beautiful essence
Yes.
of joy and
Yes.
excitement and
Yes.
exploration when you started letting the outside world tell you
Yeah.
what you were, dictate
Yeah.
what you were? Shut that door. They have
Yeah.
no right to tell you who you are, why you are, or what you're here for. That is your exploration.
Yeah.
That is your beautiful journey of life. Do it with enthusiasm. It's like fear. There's a common sense fear. Don't put your hand in the fire. Don't walk in front of a bus.
Yeah. You
Don't walk
live your
down a
life
dark
like that.
alley late at
Yeah.
night. And that common sense fear, take it with you, but don't look fear of the unknown. Go exploration, adventure of the unknown. And
Exactly.
fear, come with me, protect me. Let me
Yeah.
know when I shouldn't go down that road or talk to that person. It's okay that you're with me, but
Yeah.
don't dictate where I go,
No, it's
right?
true.
Show
It's
me and
true.
support me. But we've
Yeah.
been so conditioned to be fearful over everything.
Totally.
Why? Because that gives them control. Do you want to be controlled by others? No.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, we were in that matrix that we couldn't see that.
You're right.
But now we're starting to wake up that we have been programmed and
Yes,
we need to reprogram ourselves. But I
exactly.
think when we're awakening, which we are,
Mm,
we start to connect to what you said, that the different idea that what you focus on, you will expand. So
yes.
we started to, so I remember when I was awakening many, many years ago, and I just one day woke up and thought, oh my gosh, we're all connected.
Mhm.
Oh, oh my gosh, we're all beautiful souls.
Yeah.
And I started like having my heart grow like a
Mm,
100 times that day. And my heart grew so much, it was almost hurting. And I
yeah.
was connecting to all that was. I was connecting to the trees and
Mm,
all of because everything's alive. Even this stone is
yes.
alive.
Yes. Everything has an
Everything,
energy signature.
yes,
Everything. Yes.
yeah, and everything is mostly empty space.
Mm,
So we don't even we're it's energy in this, even in this solid rock that we think or stone think it's solid, it's not solid at all.
mhm,
So that's what the quantum world is showing us, that we are mostly empty space. And that empty space is that field. And that
mm,
field is that all that is,
yeah.
that loving, amazing opportunity. Like you said, how do
Mm,
you look at something? So
yes.
when you start to wake up, you're like, oh, it's an opportunity life. And I can meet all these other creators
Mhm.
and I can learn from them. I don't have to compete with them. I can cooperate with them.
Yes.
When we're on that level, we're like
Collaboration.
glowing.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
glowing.
Yes. We become the orchestra, right?
Yes.
And it's absolutely wonderful. And but you brought up a point that for people, I'm called highly sensitive. That's how they
Yeah.
refer to. I have
Yeah.
fibromyalgia, which is a hypersensitivity illness, the fibrosis and hypersensitivity. And I've learned to control it to a point, some through tapping, some through I'm not a meditator because my mind is always in creative
I
field. I'm off on
understand.
a different dimension somewhere. I'm always
Yeah.
that came from being a child where I used to play with dead people and this who is this child,
Yeah.
right? And so,
I
it
understand.
was always, playing with spirits in different dimensions. And I couldn't tell you if it was from this world or another world, they all blend together, right? But it's for me, the illness definitely came from suppression of myself, of my
Definitely.
beingness. And the more spiritual that I step into being, right, is that sensitivity. And it is the sensitivity to the pain out there, to the hate out there, to the
Yeah.
imbalance out there. And
So true.
sometimes it's really hard to put that boundary there
Yeah, I hear
and
you.
say, not let it bleed through. And I think it's the bleeding through because we so want to bring balance and bring peace and equilibrium and the answer. That's the reason I do
Yeah,
these shows. The reason why you did this book is to bring
totally.
the answer. But it's at the same time, we have to open that door to bring the answer. And it's like, I don't want to let them in. So, how do highly sensitive, intuitive
Yeah.
people that are stepping into it, people that are in it on a different level, how do we not get ill?
Yeah, so this is literally why I've done this book
Mm,
because I am a light worker too, highly sensitive, and I know I teach many all over the planet.
mm,
I train health and wellness coaches that are mostly light workers
yeah.
holistically to go and help with the change in the medical system that
Hmm.
needs to happen.
Yes.
But what I find happening is that to really be well, we need to address all those levels.
Hmm.
So I believe that, like, you know how you said you stepped into your power,
Hmm.
the more you do that, the more you can put a boundary.
Yeah.
Because if you don't step in your power, you're just like a doormat and
Hmm.
everybody can walk over you.
Yeah.
And also understanding that energetic fields, like I can direct my energy field. I teach my students this every day, that every day you wake up, you need to give a clear intention to
Hmm.
your field. In other words, I command my
Hmm.
field to release anything that is not from me. And that includes inserts and programs and whatever. Black, you can go on this whole
Yeah.
thing that has been put in us. But I release everything that's not mine and I give it forever away from me and I return to my original DNA essence.
Mm.
And you say that every day, and you'll start to be more like
Yeah.
you'll be healthier. But
Right.
also that belief, like when you said, I heard you say, I have this condition.
Hmm.
I I encourage people never to say that
Hmm.
ever again. You don't have anything.
Hmm.
And I am healed. That's what you say.
Right.
I am completely healed.
Yeah.
So you only say what you want to create. So you stop saying, I have whatever, because that's also just interesting. I
Right.
mean, yes, okay, I'm a nurse. We know about those things.
Yeah.
But what you have, what you really have, if you want to look at your cells on a physical, spiritual, every emotional level and all that, and I would look physically right now, you have a miscommunication in your cells if you have an autoimmune. If
Hmm.
you have an autoimmune, I am attacking my own cells,
Right.
which means my cells are missing those glycans.
Yes. So start doing some investigation to bring them back
Yes,
to
and that
reconnect.
is, and I think, I mean, I know this is crazy, but I have a dream one day that the governments, the new governments or whatever we form, will just give those to us
Mm,
until the food is put back because we need to get healthy now. It's time,
yeah.
really time to heal.
It's time not only for a new chapter, but almost a new book. I mean, we in many ways, we do need to have the new book because we cannot have any of the contamination of the old
No,
seeping through. So it is
yeah,
not only a new chapter. The new chapter in this old book is the change that is inevitable.
yes.
Now the
And
new
that's why
book is
it's
there.
quantum leap. That's why
Yes,
we call it a quantum leap
yes,
because we're going to be unrecognizable
I
soon.
know. We're going to
That's
actually live up
exciting.
to our meaningful purpose of what we're here in the first place for, right? Because I
Exactly.
don't think we've ever scratched the surface of what we're here. When you look at humanity, it's all about survival. The
Yeah.
survival of the fittest. Take that one
Yeah.
out in order to survive. And it's like, that is the old barbaric way. Surely by now we should have evolved.
Yeah,
And I feel that,
exactly.
the universe is looking at us and going, "Oy vey, when are you guys going to wake up?"
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. So I show you something that is very inspirational. So my sister painted this picture of the new systems. And I don't think you can see it too well, but it's so beautiful. It has crystalline roots that
Hmm.
are all connected
Right?
with highlight colors
Hmm.
and high frequency. So, and it's on a book, as you can
Hmm.
see. So that's so cool, isn't it? The new systems. So that was one of my chapters. And this is the new Earth, how she showed, I can, let me see if I can show you.
Yes.
So the new Earth, and it's multidimensional, crystalline, high frequency, loving, peaceful, cooperative. It's a whole new world.
The creativity or the creation of what we have yet to reach is just
Yeah,
waiting for us to rise up,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And when we
That's
rise
right.
up and we start stepping into our cohesive collective creativity,
Yes.
we're going to blow our minds. My God,
Yeah,
how long did it take us to get here?
I know.
Why did we not get here earlier? Because, we people think that higher elevation only comes when you die. No, you're just, you're going to recycle that spirit until it's accomplished, right? It's all about us rising up to the beautiful creativity that as humanoids we cannot
Yes.
see, but as
No.
divine beings, we are waiting to put that paintbrush in. Just give us the canvas and we'll show you, or give
Yeah.
us the canvas, we'll show ourselves. We're the ones that are limiting ourselves.
Yeah, I speak about that change and what that's going to look like. So the density shift that we're
Mm,
experiencing is going to give us more knowingness, more
yeah,
connection to our heart. We're going to become just naturally, we're not going to need these stories anymore.
yeah,
Like we're not going to need to be the murderer and the murdered
right.
and it's over. And we can
Yeah,
already feel it, right? As we're watching these TV shows and we're like, oh,
yes.
do I need
Oh,
to see
another
this
one. And
again?
we become
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
life has become so meaningless when you look at things like that. It's like,
Oh
show
yeah.
me. I watch videos on things on Facebook and YouTube when they're rescuing animals and they're doing a kind deed for someone.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
warms my heart. It lifts my spirit. And I suggest to
Totally.
people, if you're looking to ignite your heart and soul, right, watch these things of where humanity or even animals rescuing other animals or raising other animals that are not their own species, and look to that and let it
Yeah,
inspire you, because inspiration begets invitation.
exactly. Even trees.
Yes.
I
Oh, I
I
love
want to
talking to
tell you,
trees. They're wonderful.
oh my God. So I never knew I did that. I never could do that.
Mm,
I never even thought about that. And I talk about this in the book that one day I walk out to my garden and the tree, literally, I cannot, it's
yes.
like the tree is talking to me.
Yes,
And
yes,
I'm
yes.
like, and the tree's like, I'm in trouble. And I
Mm,
was thinking, okay, now am I just hearing that? This is
mm,
crazy. This is actually crazy. And I couldn't stop thinking it and I couldn't stop focusing on the tree. So I called the gardener and the gardener said, "Oh, you have to cut that tree down. It's damn it's degrading. It's such a beautiful tree if I show you the picture."
yeah.
And I was like, "No, I don't want to cut it down." So I called a tree surgeon and the tree surgeon came and we made some adjustments to this tree. And now he said the tree will last hundreds more years.
Yeah.
Like it's all fixed and
Just,
it's
yes, it just
healed.
needed some help, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I could not cut it down. I swear.
No,
It's so beautiful. And it
but
was just so intense.
that's unfortunately what we've become. Cut it down, cut it out, cut, cut,
Yeah.
cut.
Yeah. Like
Instead
that
of
gardener wanted
what
to do
does
that.
it need to nourish,
Yeah.
to re-nourish? What do we
Yeah.
need?
Yeah.
Stop throwing us away. Stop throwing things away. We've
Right.
become so wasteful, not just on material things, but on people. The
Oh,
way we
totally.
discard people is absolutely an abomination, right?
Yeah. I mean, we have to get to, and this
Yeah,
is what I talk about as we are going in these higher densities, we are getting to we have to forgive our
yeah,
past
yes.
pain. We have to forgive all the trauma and let it go. And we
Let it
have to
go.
get rid of it because in order to go into this new time, we can't go in there with heavy baggage.
No,
We're not going
no,
to be allowed in there. That it's if it's a high frequency place, you won't get access to the door if you're
right.
still vibrating at this lower
That's why
frequency.
it needs to be a new book altogether, right? Because you
Yeah,
can't have
yeah.
any of the old energy trying to
No.
seep in.
But I think, for instance, what I see these health coaches that I train doing is they're going and see what happens when you have a very high frequency and you go with light and information
Yeah.
to the old, it adjusts up. In
Yes.
other words, you become the post of light
Yeah.
that is the that is the integrity
Mm.
of that institution. And I think that's what's happening. So there is going to be a big shift
Yes, yes,
of
yes, yes,
all of
yes.
our structures, right? And as we see this, we all have to do our part. Like I don't care what you do, but you have to say, okay, what are my gifts? How can I serve? How can I help
Mm.
with this restoration of the new earth? Because
Yes.
that's we all are called, honestly, all of
And
us.
and the universe is saying, please get on with it before the earth evicts us or we irreparable damage, because
Exactly.
it is now time, and this earth has given us everything we ever needed, and we have
Yes.
abused her horribly. It is
Yeah.
time for us to live in gratitude. I live
Yeah.
in a place called Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, and I say, if you don't like green, don't live here because there's millions of trees. And
Oh,
right over there is the ocean. Here are the trees, and three things that I
oh,
live
I bet
by:
it's
trees,
beautiful.
breeze, and water, right?
Beautiful.
And so
That's right.
I've got a monkey puzzle tree around here. I've got trees all around me, the deer walking in the green
Oh,
belt behind me. And wherever you go, you're surrounded by trees. And
lovely.
if you go by, I remember taking my dog for a walk down this particular area where there's a lot of trees with leaves. So a lot of
Mhm.
trees here aren't necessarily leafy. There are a lot of fern and forest trees. And they were speaking so loud. And I said, stop, I can't hear you. You're all talking at once. And the trees stopped,
Wow.
literally stopped. And I said,
Funny.
okay, now one at a time. And as I walked down, and the thing is, don't think the trees are actually bow, 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 bow to you. They're speaking to your heart and soul,
Yeah.
right? You're feeling what they're saying to you. And as you let it immerse itself into you, visions, ideas, something comes into your mind. That is
Yeah.
what they're trying to transport you. It's the same of animals. They're here to show us how to communicate, how to
Totally.
connect. They speak volumes to us in the way they look at us. And it's so
Yeah, and
beautiful.
it is. And I believe that when we've been through a process of evolution, that
Mm.
probably we were all those things.
Yes.
Like we were the water, we
Yeah.
were the fire, we were the elements, we were the nature, we were the animals, we were so that we could experience everything. And now we're human 3.0 going to human 4.0 so
Yeah.
that we can experience that. And that is so like we're on I mean, I must say, it's an incredible time to be alive. So
Yes.
we are very fortunate, every soul who's here right now and chooses to be part of this shift
Yeah.
because it is exciting, actually. Very, very exciting.
I started this journey of podcasting 12 years ago, 11 years this month of my own network. And,
Wow.
and people say, well, yeah, sorry, you don't really make money out of this. So why are you doing it? I said, because it enriches me all the time.
Yes.
I
Yes.
get people like yourself on who are lifting up
Oh,
our spirit, that are showing us a way forward, not just spiritually with energetic
yeah.
words, but you've put practicum in the book. You've put the applicable things that we can do to move forward.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the shows, are called illuminating. And
Oh, it's
they
beautiful.
shed light
Yeah.
on what is possible, what we can do. As I said, the inspiration begets the invitation. When we're inspired, we're invited to step up, step in, be a part
Totally.
of. And every
Absolutely.
single one of us, you've suppressed your gift for so long.
Yeah.
Right? It's time to go dig down and deep. And do you know how many people I've interviewed that been six-figure CEOs, run their own companies, and then they got what I call the nudge, nudge, wink, wink, cosmic two by four. They didn't pay attention to the nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and then the cosmic two by four came along, one form or the other, and they completely lost their career, and they suddenly discovered something they always wanted to do that they discovered in childhood, and
Yeah,
they've
that's
brought
cool.
it up and they've
Yeah.
ignited it, and they say they are more enriched and more abundant than they
Yeah.
ever were when they were rich.
Beautiful.
Now,
I
of course, we
agree.
do need money because it's the roof of the head and the function, right? But let's look at money as the tool that allows us
Yeah.
to grow. Don't look at
That's
it
the
as the
thing.
identity.
No, it's just a vehicle. Like
Yes.
it's like the money really comes and stays when your soul purpose, when you're in
Mm,
alignment with your soul purpose.
Yes.
Anybody that's just been a CEO for the money or
Yes.
for the power, I've seen them lose it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
or have lots of troubles.
Mm.
I think when you're doing it for the
Right
benefit
reason.
of your soul,
Yes.
for you realize why you're here, your intention is powerful,
Mm.
and then money just flows. And
It's there
so
when
you
you need
should
it. Yeah.
exactly, and
Yeah.
that's how we're going to live because we're going to
Exactly.
go to a universe where it's not about having millions. We won't even need millions because we will be able to create out of ether whatever
Yeah.
we want.
Yeah.
So why would we need money anymore? We're going to
It's
be
about
able to think of it.
contribution, isn't it? That's where
Yes,
the e-commerce
yes,
is. We
yeah,
are the e-commerce, and
yeah,
it's the gifts that we bring to each other. The barter exchange, the contribution that we bring to the society, to the community. And
yeah,
it's something that was done eons and eons ago. And then certain people kind of came in power and started dictating and separating. It was the ultra rich, the middle class, and the ultra poor. And what
yeah.
we're going to see is classless.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's really like as we start to, sorry, as we start to see that there are other entities on other
Mm.
planets, which I'm convinced there are, because
Of course. Yes.
how arrogant of us to think
Oh,
that we're the
exactly
only
what I
ones.
say. Who do you think you
Yeah,
are, Earthlings?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But as we start to see even humanoids other places and people other places, we will start to um, realize that, okay, Earth, what makes Earth special? And then we won't even see our differences because we'll
No.
just be humans of Earth. And then we will start to see what joins us, what makes us
Yeah.
special. And what
Yeah.
makes us special is that we've gone through this
Mm.
duality. So we are ultra sensitive in a way,
Yeah.
more than we're more emotional than other places in the galaxy, I'm convinced,
Mm.
because we've had this duality where we've really felt every pain. It
Mm.
was quite heavy to go through.
Oh
But
God.
on the
Yes.
other hand, we have gained a lot from it.
We've
Our
become the
souls.
teachers, or we become
Yeah.
the teachers.
Yeah. And the
Right.
leaders. I
Yes.
think perhaps the leaders of this universe in a way, which is very amazing in a good
Which
way.
physically I won't be around to see, but I intentionally will be there as a spirit. And because that's what I came to this planet for, is
Yeah.
to ignite heart and souls. That's what was my
Yes.
journey right in the beginning. And I will
Beautiful.
be either coming back or hovering over to make sure that it's still going to be, because that is really where the nectar is.
Isn't
You
it?
want to know where the real value of life is? It
Yeah.
is in that beautiful, cohesive harmony of peace and
Definitely.
love. We've seen so much of it through the years of movies. And of course, anytime you see people coming together in peace and love, media makes it a cult, right?
Yeah, I
And
know.
I've
I
I've
know.
actually interviewed people from cults, so I know that the cults do exist. But when we step into peace and love and a higher frequency, it's not a cult, folks. It's a
No.
it's a cohesive community of collaboration, of
And
respect
also we
and
help
compassion.
we help each soul
Yes,
become the best version they can be.
yes,
And we're all different. So guess
yes,
what? We're all going to be different because a cult
right,
is more like everybody's the same.
right.
But this is not what that
No.
is. We
This
are
is the
all
orchestra.
unique.
Each
Yeah,
instrument is playing,
yeah,
and the beauty of it is that you can have two or three violinists, and they may be even playing the same piece, but each one of
yes,
them is bringing their own essence to it, slightly changing it,
absolutely.
and they can play piece after piece after piece in a different way. The music keeps on playing, keeps on giving, keeps on transcending, right? So let's be the music.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's so funny because you made me think of the other science, epigenetics, because epi means above genetics.
Mm,
So, because we are unique and because we are unique creators, what we're realizing is that we have the power to overstep our genetics. And
mm,
that is powerful
yes,
because we have been, and we've discovered this two strands of DNA, right?
yes.
And then we had all this junk DNA, they called it.
Hmm.
But what we're seeing is the activation in this ascension of that junk DNA. And this junk DNA is actually quite powerful and it's activating different abilities in us. And
Yeah.
so, as we are transcending to this new time. More of us is awakening to be more whole, to
Yeah.
have, to realize our uniqueness.
Hmm.
I don't even think half of us have realized
No,
our gifts. And
no,
so we will be able to create and use those strengths to you know bring beautiful. I mean, I can't even imagine how amazing this earth's going to be
I know.
once we start creating on that level. It's mind-boggling
And the
actually.
beautiful thing, it just won't be about comparison or competition. It's all
No,
about collaboration and cohesiveness
exactly.
and compassion.
Because we will appreciate each
Yes,
other.
yes.
That's very important.
And the things, what is one of the big problems with humanity? And we see this over and over again. I'm not seen, I'm not heard.
Yeah,
When we step into our own beautiful, meaningful essence, purpose, our contribution, it doesn't matter if you're the triangle or the head violinist. Everybody has a place, everybody has a reason, and we don't need to
totally.
compare. We don't need to
No,
compete with one another, even ourselves, right? We
we
can
need us all.
We need us all. And it
Yeah,
doesn't mean that we can't explore our
no,
own instrument
exactly.
as to how far we can go, what we can do
Yeah.
with it. One of the genres I have is for the love of music. I love interviewing musicians. They're
Oh, I bet.
already in their soul and spirit. They're already speaking
Beautiful.
their truth. They're already connected to who they are. And their music is the extension of that. Why is music so universally transcending?
Because we were created by sound.
Yes.
So we are
And what
sound
is sound
beings.
vibration?
Yes, there we go. We go
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
And so I think the future healing, I have been recently with a healer who taught us to just make sounds. So, for instance, like in the morning, like go and say,
Hmm.
mm, and when you do that, your whole body starts to vibrate
Yes.
and it clears all the blockages.
Right.
It's crazy. So I would encourage all of you, even if you're not musicians, start using your voice more.
Yeah.
Just use it because it can heal. You can heal yourself this way. It's
I've got
actually
two
quite powerful.
grandchildren and one 13-month-old one. And of course, they're at the age where grandma's singing is fine. Right? Later on, it'll be shut up, grandma, right? And there's a
Funny.
little 13-month-old who has Down syndrome, and he's been poorly lately. And I'll be holding him and I'll be singing to him, not necessarily words, sounds, right? And he looks at me intently
Yeah.
like that. And he's watching my mouth, and then he starts moving from side to
Wow.
side. And it's just wonderful because music for him, and I'm not even sure if he's hearing completely properly, but music to him is his language. I've noticed this
Beautiful.
from the day he's been born. Now, they broke the
Oh,
theme of bringing him out. He's had RSV. He's had
wow.
hand, foot, and mouth. He's had pneumonia. This poor little thing in his 13 months has
Oh,
been through it all. But when he's not in pain, he's so happy. And you just
cute.
start playing the music, and he's right there with it. And you're singing, and he's laughing, and he grabs your face and tries to kiss it.
Oh,
And it's like the music is in us,
yeah.
right? Let the rhythm is in us. I think this is one of the things that we've forgotten. We're
Yeah.
rhythmic, fluid creatures. Our blood
Yeah.
needs to flow, the energy needs to flow, the oxygen needs to flow. It stops. What happens? We stop.
That's all health is, actually. It's
Mm,
about that connection. It's about flow and connection. And when things are not flowing, they're not connecting. So it's really important that we understand the power of that. We are
yes.
actually in a water planet. Most of
Mhm.
us is water, right?
Yes.
And
Yes,
as we
70%.
are, yeah, and as we are singing and talking, and we are creating a wave of
Yes.
frequency through the whole being. And this wave of frequency is either high
Mm,
and you shine and you feel great, or
mm,
it's low.
yeah.
And the point is we have a choice.
Yes.
So all of us have a choice where we want to be every day. And if you feel and you're listening to this and you just don't feel well and you think, but I don't feel I have a choice, I'm
Mm,
just always in this, then you have to start getting help.
yeah.
And you can get help with a coach, you can get help
Yeah.
with a therapist, but don't feel afraid to reach out because there's so many people ready to
Exactly.
help you.
That's my
That's what I
next
think.
book, actually. It's a collaborative book of 25, 30 coaches. It's actually
Wonderful.
mastering self-discovery, wisdom from renowned coaches, and each one of them will
Wonderful.
bring that knowledge. And so people will have a book. You'll listen, you'll read, and you'll be, that
Wonderful.
most of the time is people, but I don't know who and I don't know how. So my job is to bring you those people. You've got 3,600 shows here of wisdom. Just be willing to
Yes,
take the time to
definitely.
listen, learn, and apply. There is
Yeah,
always an answer if you're
yeah,
willing to listen, learn, and apply.
definitely. Definitely. Oh, Sarah, it's been like a kindred spirit today talking to you.
Yes. Let's say we've been vibing, girl. We've been vibing.
Yeah, we've been vibing. I loved it very much, so
And your
much.
book,
Thank you.
show the cover of your book again for those that are watching. Right.
Your creator
You,
matrix. There we
and,
go.
and
Can you
you
see
know,
that?
the Matrix movie, not just because it had Keanu Reeves in it, but it was a movie that people, what's this about? Am I part of that or am I a
Yeah,
part of this? And even though people, it was like, oh, I'm in it for the fun, but am I? The reason it
yeah,
had such an impact because it started drawing the lines, it started shedding the picture.
totally.
And then people kind of woke up to it according to what level they were at. And more
Absolutely.
we're seeing this of we're drawing the lines, we're showing the parallel. And we've got to realize we are the answer we seek. We are
Totally.
the love, we are the wisdom, we are the peace, but we are the answer. It's not you're looking for the answer, it lies
Totally.
within you.
No, it is. It's in
Yeah,
here.
it's
And
waiting
it's,
to be
I
activated.
absolutely. And if you don't like the story that's
Yeah,
showing up, you need to change the interior
yes,
because actually you're creating from that
yeah,
internal matrix. So this being of yours is resonating with that story right now. So that doesn't have to show up tomorrow, but
right.
what that means is that's your work. You
Yeah.
need to shift this matrix to a higher frequency to get the story you want to have. And
The
this is the
youngest person
power.
I've interviewed was 10, and she wrote a book, 365 Days of Gratitude
Wow.
with a Positive Attitude,
Oh, I love that. That's
right?
lovely.
So I can say, it's a sunny day today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sunny day today. It's too hot. I don't want to go out.
Yeah.
Right? It's what is our attitude saying?
Yeah.
Right? You're thinking your attitude is reflecting the outside. Your attitude is actually reflecting your inside.
Absolutely.
So if you're
So,
not liking what's coming out of your mouth, or you're
yeah.
not liking how you're seeing the world, maybe start changing your perspective and your attitude towards more gratitude. Because when we
Yeah.
actually see what our options are, what our possibilities are, what a gift this planet is, what a gift we are to each other and to ourselves,
Absolutely.
when we choose to see the illumination, we then
Yeah.
see the light. But it is
Absolutely.
your choice. And
Absolutely.
I don't like when people say black and white because darkness isn't something to be scared of. It is if you get lost in there. But when you become the light in your own darkness, it's a beautiful place to be.
Oh, totally. That's where we're going. We're
Yes,
going into integration.
yes,
But this duality of this light and dark has been serving us, but it's
yeah,
not anymore.
no,
So we're saying, okay, let's go above the story. Let's
right.
connect to, let's bring that dark and light together. We get gray, but we get a, well, actually, we get a very high frequency, holistic, connected force.
Yeah,
And this force is much more powerful because it will have a whole new set of lessons because
yes.
we don't need these old ones anymore.
No, they're not
And I
serving us.
think
Obsolete.
exactly. And
Mm,
so, but that's very important. If what's showing up you're not happy with, then
mm,
the work, that's your reflection that you have work to do to change the interior and that
exactly.
the exterior will follow.
Yeah. And very often that darkness, it's actually contouring the light, giving
Oh
shape to the
yeah.
light,
Yeah, like a
right?
star, right?
Yes,
A star
exactly.
has, it's beautiful at night, right? Because
Yes.
you see the stars shine up
Mm,
against the back,
yeah,
the black,
exactly.
but
Exactly.
it doesn't judge itself.
And we don't
It's
see
not
the
like,
stars by day,
no, no, but the
right?
stars are not saying, "Oh,
Yes.
I hate the dark."
Right.
It's horrible,
And
right?
it's not saying I hate the light because you can't see me. He said,
Exactly.
my time to shine is in the
Exactly.
night, right? So
That's
everything
beautiful.
has its place, everything has its reason,
Yeah,
right?
I
So,
believe that.
yeah,
Oh,
this has been an absolute delight. Absolutely. Now,
oh.
A, how can you serve people? Whom do you serve? Also, where can people get your book?
So you can get it right now on Amazon, and you can get it in hardcover and paperback and in Kindle. So
Hmm.
three methods. And but it's really beautiful in the book because you see the pictures. I
Mm,
do say soon I will do the like I will
audio.
have it in audio, but
Yeah.
not I'm not there yet. But I train holistic health coaches all over the world. They are trained in 6 months. So anybody comes, we have doctors and teachers and people. Like one year we had every cohort, we take about 25 to 30 students. And one cohort, we had 7 PhDs, many of which who lost their job to artificial intelligence.
Hmm.
And they wanted to make a difference in the world. And they came and became a health coach. And now they're really in making huge changes in the world.
Yeah.
I see what my health coaches are doing. They're really helping the world make this shift because they're trained holistically. So they're trained in the new sciences, so they understand cellular well-being. And
Mm.
that is a powerful, how can I say, insight
Yeah.
into our how we create health and wellness. And I think it's important right now, actually, that we give people
Yeah.
hope.
Exactly. We're never too old
Nope,
to have a redirect. You know, they're cosmic two
never.
by four, whereas they became obsolete. So it was a new direction.
Exactly.
And that is a gift because that's just saying all of the skills that you learned there, you can now reapply somewhere
Totally.
else in a different format for a different benefit. I started this at 57. We're never too old.
Oh my God, I started my as a founder of a wellness revolution, I started at 58. I find this so funny. We have a
We,
lot in
when
common.
we have the, you know, and the thing is, all of the life, you know, experiences that we had led us to this to understand the importance of what we're doing.
Yes, yes,
Right? And that's
absolutely.
the beauty of it. Can a 20-year-old do the same thing? Not in the same way because they haven't got the lifetime experiences. And those
Yeah,
lifetime experiences have shown us really what is important, what to focus on, what
yeah,
needs to be done, rather than the guessing game or still chasing the illusion of what others expect from us. So there's a
yeah,
beauty to doing things a little older. So never be
yeah.
afraid of change, no matter how old you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, I couldn't even believe that I went to an astrologer like 10 years ago, and they're like, "You're gonna have a huge business." And I'm like, "Me? Oh my God, no, I couldn't even imagine."
Yeah.
And you're gonna have this huge impact on humanity. And I think everything I did,
Yes.
having the family, all the
Mm.
research I did all those years, being a nurse, whatever
Yes.
I did, teaching,
Yeah.
was all to prepare me
Yeah.
for this amazing moment, actually.
Exactly. Exactly. When
And
you
I
look
think
back,
you
you
also,
understand it's all why. Yeah, I saw a reader as well, and at the time I was involved with a quantum electric motor technology. And she
wow.
said to me, "You're going to do something online that's going to be universal
Mm.
and that's going to change lives and save lives." And I thought,
Oh,
how's the electric motor going to do that? And then within
that's funny.
2 years, somebody stole the technology, and all everything went to
Oh,
hell in the basket. And I wrote a piece on depression, and this woman saw my site and think she said, "I think you should be a podcaster on my network." And I go, "What's a podcaster?" I had no idea.
that
I
is
joined
so
a
funny.
13 months live. I got the bug
Wow,
of, you know, how many people, because for me at that time, everything felt helpless. And then meeting people who had taken the journey to hopeful, you know,
that's
became
beautiful.
part of my healing and the amount of healing I have done
Oh,
through the years
grateful.
of doing this. And that's the beauty when you step into your meaningful purpose, what it does for you, how it transcends you
Oh,
is
totally.
absolutely wonderful. So I'm glad you embraced your redirection.
It did. I did. I was shocked that it was going to happen, but I took it. I have loved it actually, just like you. It has brought great fulfillment.
Exactly. And of course, the site is. a wellnessrevolution.com.
Exactly. Exactly.
And on Facebook, a wellness revolution, Instagram, a wellness revolution, and you're on a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah,
And LinkedIn Wellness Revolution. Please connect with her on all levels. Don't forget when you've listened to this show, please make a comment. And one of the important things that I say to people, just as like where you have book clubs, which is wonderful, everybody reads and shares. I want people to
sure.
have podcast clubs. Listen to the
Nice.
podcast, take notes, come and have a conversation with each other because you're hearing it from this perspective. Somebody's hearing it from that, and you get a
Totally.
beautiful whole picture at the end of it. And then don't forget to let us know, either on the social medias, by the show comments, on YouTube or wherever, what it meant to you. Because we are in a revolution and we want to know that we are having an impact, that we are switching you on, helping you redirect, because you are our future. We are our future. We're in it together. So don't feel shy to comment. Don't feel shy to ask questions. Don't feel shy to even state where you're at and want to know how to
Yeah,
get further. Just don't be shy, right?
I agree. Have courage.
Have
Courage
courage.
is also a very high frequency.
Yes.
So
That's where you
pat
discover
yourself,
your strength and your
yeah,
abilities, right? Step into
pat
courage.
yourself on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
pat yourself on the back. It's
Yes.
very important.
That where it starts, the asking
Hmm.
that question, is there more for me than what I have right now?
Yeah,
Right? And if
beautiful.
you or maybe the question is, could I really continue living like I am right now? And if
Yeah,
it
that,
comes to no, then it is there more for me, which is a yes. Then how do I get there? You
yeah,
listen to podcasts, you read books, and you reach out to the people that are going to help you.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
what it's all about. Thank you
Terrific.
so much. This has been an absolute
Oh,
delight. Thank you,
thank you,
thank you, thank
Sarah.
you.
Me too. Me
And I
too.
hope to have you back on again. And please, folks, the thing
Absolutely.
about having a hard copy, I've got a book back there that's a hard copy. It's a beautiful cocktail book to put on the
Yeah,
table to let people
yeah,
go, what is this? And not
yeah,
only, start looking at the pictures and they go, wow, what's this? And then they can start reading what the pictures are about. And you're
totally.
opening it up to conversation. Remember, when we learn and we grow, we must share and shed
Absolutely.
light so others can see their way forward too.
Absolutely. And I'll make sure you get this hard copy
Ah,
so you can
that's
have this on your table
Yes, definitely. Well,
to
it will
share
be
it.
up there on my shelf for everyone to see,
Perfect.
so everyone
Oh,
knows it.
thank you.
Because I love to share the books that I'm done, but also I'm intrigued to also know myself to know more about this, the words I can't pronounce,
Yeah, I know,
because
but it's normal.
yep, and once they get to be the norm. But the whole thing is, I know there is an answer, and then the question
Yeah.
was, where is the answer? Well, here you are. Right? You're
That's
bringing
how
us
it
the
goes.
answer. That's how
That's
it
the
goes.
universe
That's the universe. Ask and
provides
you
the
shall
answer.
receive, but get out of
Precise.
your own way. Don't
Yeah.
dictate how you receive.
Yeah.
You're cruising along a podcast. What do I want to hear? And the show stands out to you. Listen, learn,
Yeah.
and apply. Get the
Yeah.
book. It's there to
Beautiful.
teach you, right? Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so
Lovely.
much. And to everyone else out there, please understand your evolution. Your growth, your beautiful essence of being is what you're meant to be, what this planet needs you to be, what the universe needs you to be. So the more you step into it, the more you become the solution that we all need. So do it for yourself, do it for the rest of us. Until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.